This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
As Holy Week continues and Easter approaches, the Bishop of the Diocese of Scranton has a message of hope. We'll share that next. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope that you're keeping your head up and staying at home as much as possible. I'm Ken Carr with today's information from SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. The latest COVID-19 case numbers were released from the Pennsylvania Department of Health this afternoon. 84 new cases were reported in Luzerne County with 3 new deaths. Schuylkill County added 15 cases and Carbon County had 10. 15 people have died from COVID-19 in Luzerne County as of Friday. Across the state, there were 1,751 new cases for a total of 19,979. The total number of deaths in Pennsylvania from the virus is 78. And the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association has canceled the Winter Sports Championships and Spring Sports after the governor announced yesterday that schools will be closed for the rest of the academic year. Hazel Township Code Enforcement is making sure that the plants in the Humboldt Industrial Park are following guidelines to protect workers and stop the spread of COVID-19. According to an article by the Standard Speaker's Jim Dino, 25 plants have been inspected. In the article, Township Code Enforcement Officer Scott Kostician says the biggest issue at the plants is social distancing. You can read more about this story in the Standard Speaker and at standardspeaker.com. Hazleton Police Chief Jerry Speziale is on unpaid personal leave. Detective Sergeant Brian Schoonmaker has been made acting chief until Speziale returns. Kent Jackson has more on this story in today's Standard Speaker and at standardspeaker.com. Holy Week continues today for Christians around the world. Today is Good Friday, the day Christians believe Jesus died on the cross. Sunday is Easter, and that's when Christians believe he rose from the dead. The Bishop of the Diocese of Scranton, Joseph Bambara, recently shared his thoughts on finding hope during this pandemic, Catholics not being able to attend Mass right now, and if he thinks this situation will bring some people back to their faith.
I see hope all around us. As dark and as uncertain as these days are from the news that we hear, and sadly from the fact that even some of our friends and family may be sick and suffering as a result of this disease, when I look at the selfless lives of individuals, from healthcare workers who literally put their lives on the line each day, to individuals who are willing to serve us in a grocery store or a pharmacy, I realize very, very clearly that our world is filled with generous, loving people who are living out their faith, however that faith is manifested in their lives. That gives me hope. Those are all signs to me of the resurrection. My own mom is in her 90s, and neighbors have been bringing her food and calling her up and talking to her. She's just one example of hundreds of thousands of individuals who are recipients of people's goodness. There's a lot of hope around. I would just encourage our people to continue to live their faith. You know, this year we won't be blessing baskets, but every family gathers on Easter Sunday and offers a prayer of blessing for the food. Make that more intentional this year as you bless various items from bread to eggs to meats, all of which have great symbols. But live your faith. Use the opportunities that are given to us through Catholic television, through online opportunities, not just at our cathedral, but in the vast majority of our parishes throughout our 11 counties and 118 parishes. But God gives us common sense, and God places us in the midst of the world to care for what we've been given. And that's why we have to separate, and that's why we have to practice good social distancing and be careful during these particular days. But I would suggest to individuals like myself who want more, who want to be back to the way it always was, to look at that very yearning and longing in our hearts and to realize that that's being generated by the power of God. That's not us stepping away. That's God pulling at our hearts, saying, wherever you are, in whatever circumstances in which you find yourselves, I'm with you. I would hope that our people look back on these days and realize after they move through them that they were able to do that for no other reason than the power of God. And that reality, hopefully, will generate a reawakening, a resurrection, if you will, of our own spirits to a deeper relationship with God.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
Artist Kim Brogdon did another fantastic job with our windows at our office in downtown Hazleton. This is a beautiful spring scene, and we're looking at it on a day when we saw some snow on the ground here in the Hazleton area. And now our forecast from the National Weather Service. A hazardous weather outlook tonight as we may see more strong winds. It will be mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly clear. Low of 28 degrees, wind gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. Saturday looks sunny with a high near 48, down to 36 degrees Saturday night with partly cloudy skies. Partly sunny on Sunday and nice with a high of 59, but then another hazardous weather outlook as we may see more heavy winds Sunday into Monday. Sunday night rain with a low of 51 degrees, 90% chance of precipitation. Same chance of rain on Monday. We will have a high of 66 degrees. Monday night mostly cloudy, low of 34. Tuesday partly sunny with a high of 46, and Tuesday night 30% chance of snow after 2 a.m., mostly cloudy with a low of 30 degrees. If you're looking for something different to watch this weekend, may I humbly suggest a new episode of Out of Left Field here on SSPTV. On the new episode, we talk with a sports psychologist about the COVID-19 outbreak. Ron Marchetti shares some of his favorite pieces of local sports memorabilia. 2,000-point scorer Emma Kaczynski of Tamaqua talks about her career and takes our trivia challenge. And we get an Irish dance lesson from the Sabo School of Irish Dance. And finally tonight we end on a very positive note. On Monday, a police escorted parade was held for 8-year-old Daniel McGeehan. Monday was his last chemo treatment after 3 years and 4 months of treatment for acute lymphoblastic leukemia. His bell-ringing party at Geisinger had to be postponed due to the pandemic, so family, friends, and the community came together to surprise Daniel with balloons, banners, noisemakers, and horns. Everyone stayed in their vehicles to maintain social distancing, but they got their point across to Daniel, wishing him continued health and happiness. Still to come, we talk with Tamaqua area boys basketball coach Jim Barron about his team's success this past season. And next, one local woman shares her tradition of making peanut butter eggs for Easter with our Janine Lassant. Here's tonight's social news. The Cunningham Police, the Miss Greater Hazleton Scholarship Organization, and the Cunningham Borough present Drive By Bunny. On Saturday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on the main streets of Cunningham, the Easter Bunny will be driving by, and he reminds everyone to be safe by keeping social distance, so remain in your yard, on the sidewalk, or in your car. And here's a look at the Easter weekend worship schedule on SSPTV. There's still a few more chances to watch Stations of the Cross today, and the Mass for Inspiration is on Saturday and Sunday, and you can watch the Mass for Inspiration anytime at ssptv.com. And that's tonight's Talk of the Town. SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of the following. Robin Joy Hartzell, 64 of Evansville, Indiana. You could send condolences at ZymerFuneralHome.com. Margaret K. Iwanowski, 89 of Newark, Delaware. Services are out of town. Cecilia Banchek of Whitehaven, the McHugh Wilczek Funeral Home in Freeland will announce arrangements. And Jeffrey M. Matyes, 45 of Hazleton, the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home in Hazleton will announce arrangements. Today's social news was brought to you by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory. For information, call 570-788-0977 or go to harmonfuneral.com.